Welcome to our next video. This may seem like repeat, but we're going to do one on bottle stoppers. And I want to show you a new technique, but first let's go back and kind of review what we've done in the past. This is a standard bottle stopper like we would have turned. It consists of three components: a block of wood that's 2 inches square by 3 inches long that has a hole 3/8 inch drilled in it. We can stick a dowel and then a cork that has been pre-drilled to fit that dowel. So that's what the setup of the pieces will look like. The question is, how do you hold this on the lathe? Well, a lot of options. One of the options is if you tend to have a 4-jaw chuck and are willing to buy another set of jaws. These are called #1 jaws in this brand. This can hold it very well. It grabs the dowels. It has a flat surface for which the bottom of the blank can register, and it's very solid. But it's a cost. It's kind of expensive. Another way is to use what's called a collet. Well, let me show you what a collet looks like. This is a handmade one. It's drilled out to hold that 3/8 dowel. It's been split here so that I can squeeze it down for a tighter hold. The blank goes in here, and the sides are squeezed down so that this is a firm hold. Well, most machinists, watchmakers, jewelers, and so on know pretty well that a collet is one of the most precise ways to hold something on the lathe. This is a 3/8 collet, 3/8 hole to fit the stopper. A Morris taper on the shank so it'll fit the headstock. Well, now to squeeze that down, there's slots in here that allow that to be compressed as pressure is applied here. I apply pressure by bringing down the tailstock, literally pushing it right into the headstock. At this point, that's really solid. But to keep it from coming out, we use what's called a drawbar assembly. And this is just a piece of thread, all thread, which you can buy at a local hardware store. It's inserted through from the headstock side and tightened down. And that prevents this from unscrewing. So when you're done shaping, what you do is simply take a mallet, grab the end of this, and this pops right out. It's going to be taken off, cork added, and you're done with your project. Now, we've talked about that in the earlier video. The reference to that is down here below. But I want to introduce you to another way, a different way. And this is called a screw chuck. Here are two different versions of it. This is the 3/8, match the hole. The thread on the back side is 1 1/8, which fits some lathes. Here's another version of it. Uses just a little smaller hole, but it's designed to screw onto 1.25 inches. And my blank, I pre-drilled. This is 5/16, and I'll just screw it on. It's a tight screw to hold it very solidly. Now that's a pretty solid hold, and that's the way we're going to do in this video. The other way is described in earlier videos, which are referenced below. Sources for these two different sizes are also referenced below so that you can see those. And I want to support this between centers because that again is the safest way for us to do spindle work. I want to avoid using live centers like this. It'll create too deep of a hole in the end, which I will have to get rid of. So I'm going to use my standard live center. I'm going to create a little divot on the end, which I'll have to turn away. So this video is simply about making another bottle stopper using a screw chuck of this style. This is not the last time you'll see screw chucks, because if you go on to our series on turning bowls, you'll find the most efficient way of holding a bowl blank on the lathe is with a variation of this, another screw chuck. So let's begin to do some turning. So I'm in tight, I'm clear. I start with my speed very low, increase it until I'm happy. And I'm going to use the standard techniques we would use. I've pre-sharpened my roughing gouge, so I'm ready to go with that. Standard procedure as we talked about in the earlier video. Use more speed. I know I'm round, I can't hear it vibrating anymore. I'm not getting any vibration. And I'm just squaring it up now. It didn't turn quite straight across. That was me. Okay. So I have a blank. Now the shape we're going to create may be something like this. A little bit of a cove here, a little bit of a bead here, and we have waste wood here to get rid of. So that will take care of this little spot on the end. Most of this work is going to be done with the shallow fluted gouge. Which I also have pre-sharpened. This is a 3/8 shallow fluted or spindle gouge. So I know stopper's probably going to end right about there. So we need to turn this down so it matches the diameter of the cork. And I set up a set of calipers that will allow me to do that, to measure that. Okay, so now I begin to see where my shape is going to be. Something like that. We left a little shoulder on that last one. Okay, I'll leave a shoulder here too. Cove. The right side of the cove. I would switch hands just so I can do the other side. And we'll smooth it up. Something a little bit different, but this is going to be waste wood here, so let me get rid of it anyway. Now, shape the ball here. This is a bead. I'm rolling it to the right. My finger's on top of the tool. cut this off here. But I think what I'm going to do is take care of all my sanding and decorating before I take care of that first. Last. Do a little sanding. I'm just using 180 here. I'm going to enhance that line a little bit. Put a little burning wire mark right into here. Just for fun. The burning wire is always kind of fuzzy up the wood a little bit, so I need to resand. And now we'll take the rest of this away. I can do that either with the gouge or I could use the skew chisel, but I'm going to stick with the gouge. Just turning it down smaller and smaller. Notice over here on the side, the tool has to be almost straight vertical. Break that off. There we go. Hitting the tool rest and not the wood. And I'll just clean that end up a little bit. I want to be more round than that. Okay. My sandpaper. Well, I finished going through all the grits and finishing all the sanding. And so now I'm going to unscrew it from our chuck. And I know that this diameter here is a 1/16 under the diameter for the dowel that we're going to be using. So I'm going to take this chuck off the lathe. I'm going to put a true 3/8 drill in. So I'm going to drill this out to a full 3/8. Start the speed very slow. You know, it really just takes that much to take a 1/16 off of the total diameter. We'll take this out of the way. And now assembly, dowel pressed in, cork mounted. And I'm probably going to do my finishing before I put the cork on. But basically, that's using a new technique, which is called a screw chuck, which we will now be doing in our classes as a more substantial way of holding this piece solidly in place while we do the turning. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy this video and it provides more information for you. Please give us a like and a thumbs up. We appreciate that. And we're always looking for your comments and suggestions for other newer videos. Thanks for watching.